Do you like India or China more?
I did always enjoy it when we visited India.
So do you have partner?
Call us in Chinese, it's called cha chai. That means policeman's kid.
How was the Curtin University experience?
Like I said before, the situation in Hong Kong was sort of deteriorating.
So did you find any difference in the exams of China and Australia?
I would say,
I think like you have a very good salary as well.
I would,
Do you have any advice to our future student, like real advice before coming in Australia? And when are you going to marry?
it's like poison. You take enough poison, it's not going to do you any good, so.
Most emotional moment in this journey? So welcome Navdeep Singh to my first podcast, and I do like to know like how you think to say yes for being the guest of mine.
It was actually a first time experience for me as well, to be very honest with you. I've never done anything like this before. To me, I just thought to myself, why not, It's a first time experience, and it's probably better to say yes to new experiences rather than no. You never know what you're gonna go into. So yeah, that's the reason.
I'm really thankful that you said yes.
Oh, no, that's all
That's
good.
very rare, like someone saying yes, so
Yeah.
that's why.
Like I said, I'd never done this before, so it was one of my first times doing it. So I thought, why not? So
That's great. I do like to know like how was your life and from which background you are and originally.
yep. So I had a bit of an interesting childhood where my parents were immigrants to Hong Kong.
That's
They
nice.
migrated in the early '90s to Hong Kong when it was still a British colony.
Okay.
My dad migrated in '94, and then I was born in '98 in Hong Kong, and it was great growing up there. It was a city, so it was smaller, and we grew up in the housing estates. And then the reason for me actually leaving Hong Kong was basically in '97 the British had to cede back Hong Kong back to China. But there was a 99-year lease, and over the course of growing up, there were a lot of protests and demonstrations where people of Hong Kong did feel a little bit persecuted, where they felt China was sort of flexing its muscles, and China's only gotten stronger in the past 10 to 20 years, as we know. So it was one of those things where it was a discussion in my family to move away from Hong Kong, and when you discuss these things, first of all you decide, well, where are you going to go? So it was either Canada or Australia, and I chose Australia because it was closer, and haven't looked back since.
That's nice. So you said like you born in China, right?
No, Hong Kong. So
Okay.
it's part of China, but Hong Kong it's still recognized as a separate city for now. But
Okay, that's great. So did you live for more than like 2, 3 years in India or just in Hong Kong?
I was born in Hong Kong. I was actually raised for 2 or 3 years in India in my childhood, in the north of India, and then obviously I started kindergarten and schooling in back in Hong Kong.
Okay, that's nice. Do you like India or China more?
Look, I think both of those places have their own pros and cons. One thing that they do have in common is I think the food is to be admired in both places, in Hong Kong and India. There was definitely more of a sort of feeling when we used to visit India. Obviously, I've been there 3 or 4 times. When we did visit, there was a sense where you felt like the rules were a bit more lax. You could sort of because you're in a large area. In the villages, you can drive a car, ride a bike without any sort of license or whatever. And in Hong Kong, it was more strict because it was obviously following the British system. But at the same time, there's pros and cons to both, and you just pick and choose what you like, basically.
So what do you like, China or India? Again, same question.
Probably in the sense where of family and camaraderie and just sort of learning the values and the morals. Probably India in that sense. Hong Kong, where I appreciated the education that we got. not that you can't get it in India, I believe, but it was just because it was funded by the government, and then just the opportunities afforded to you just being a citizen there. It's much harder to replicate or it would have been much harder to replicate had I been born in India. So
You got a very tough life though.
yeah, it depends on how you look at it. I feel like everybody's got some sort of their own upbringing stories. Everybody's stories is unique, and stories are unique, and you sort of try to make the best of it you can.
So did you find it a little bit challenging when you were doing your schooling in China?
In Hong Kong, yes and no. Yes, in the sense where when you're a kid, you don't really feel that you're different than any other person. But then sometimes growing up, you're growing up in the housing estates, you're playing around with kids, and they don't look like you. You're sort of different. But I never really took that to heart for some reason. I think some people do take it more than others. It wasn't really a thing for me. I just felt like, it is what it is. But that was just unique to me, I think. I'd never really took it hard. But, obviously we had to learn Cantonese from a young age, which helped in sort of learning
What's
multiple
that,
languages.
Cantonese?
So that's actually the language that's spoken in Hong Kong.
Okay.
A lot of people confuse it when they say, "Oh, if you're raised in Hong Kong, do you speak Mandarin?" But when we were growing up, that was not mandated. Cantonese, or how you say it in Chinese, is Guangdonghua. That's the language that's actually spoken in Hong Kong. So
Okay. So did you find someone being racist towards you? As you know, in Australia, there are lots of people who are racist towards black people or someone. That same way.
probably growing up, there was a sort of a derogatory term that was used to label us because back in the British colonial rule era, the first police force in Hong Kong were actually Indian soldiers, and so the old people who grew up in that system in the British colonial era, they they saw the faces and they would call us in Chinese. It's called cha zai. That means policeman's kid. The basic meaning was because they were the first police force.
Okay.
So because we looked like them, obviously. So it was a derogatory term. It was sort of discriminatory, but it's just what you grew up with. And when you're a kid, you used to laugh or take it in good stead, I believe. So funnily enough, I've never actually took it to heart. I've just felt like it is what it is. You don't choose
Yeah,
certain
fair
things.
enough.
So it's just how it is.
So did you find any culture difference which affected you a lot while living in China at the start?
Probably not, maybe because I didn't know any other one.
Okay.
Had I grown up in India for like 5 or 10 years and then went to Hong Kong afterwards, it'd probably be different. But growing up there, that's all I knew. So yeah,
Yeah, that's nice. So now your only parents are living in Hong Kong right now, or you have siblings?
yeah. I've got an older brother.
Okay, that's great. Did you felt any time like why you are in China, you should be in India like that?
Yeah, like I said, funnily enough, it was never really on my radar sort of thing. I did always enjoy it when we visited India, and probably could have. Always wish we could stay for longer. And the family bond was definitely strong when we were kids, but yeah, it was just I'd never really thought of it that way.
That's nice. So are your parents are happy that you're in Australia?
Yeah, I believe they are. Yes, I would like to think so. And yes, we chat very often, and yeah, they're doing well.
That's nice. So like how you thought about coming to Australia? Did your parents support you?
Yeah, they were actually very supportive, and it was one of those family decisions that you make, because obviously the situation in Hong Kong was deteriorating, as people would know during the 2018-2019 protests, or 2019-2020. So it was one of those things where we decided, yeah, we maybe have to make a move on. And plus, there was a lot of things. It was narrow roads, small housing estates. not as big land, and you used growing up, you watch the movies or American television, which we usually got on our TVs.
Okay.
You looked at all the movies, and you got big houses, big cars, trucks, and everything, and then you just sort of grow up wanting that, I believe.
You have very good accent though.
Well, I guess so, maybe, yeah. But we grew up in that system where you sort of learned it from a young age, so I think that plays a part.
That's nice. I do like to learn something in China to say. If I want to say, like, for example, did you had a food? How we
Yeah,
can say
food.
in China?
Lấy sạch cho fan mày.
Say again.
So lấy means
Lei,
you. Sạch cho,
sector.
have you eaten? Fan. Fan can mean food or can mean a meal.
Okay,
Have you eaten a meal? Lấy
Lei,
sạch cho
sector,
fan
fan.
mày. May means
Man.
have you yet. Have you eaten a meal yet?
Okay,
Yeah.
say again with me.
So
Lei, sector,
fan
fan
mày.
mei.
Yep.
Lei, sector, fan mei. That's nice. How to say I love you in China?
In Cantonese, you'll say it oi lei.
Or I like too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So o means obviously me, and oi is the word for love, and lei is you. So
Okay,
yeah.
that's nice. So I do like to know, like, uh, you choose an accounting as initial talk. We had a talk at that time. You said like you choose accounting, but you're working in mining. I do like to know why you choose accounting first.
Well, interesting choice. Where in hindsight, if I were given the choice again, I probably wouldn't do it now. And the only primary reason was, funnily enough, that there is a list that the Home Affairs Department, the Immigration of Australia, do release certain skilled occupations that you can do your degree in, and then you could be sponsored for residency that way. I happened to find accounting, and I thought that was a sort of at the time of my knowledge at the time, I thought that was pretty male-driven profession. So I thought accounting would be the way to go. Knowing what I know now, I probably would do maybe mining engineering, I believe, or
Okay.
something in the healthcare sector. But yeah, definitely, it did teach me things. But would I do it again? Probably not.
I always observe that Australia changes their skills, which are like in priority.
Yep.
So at that time, in your time, it was accounting in priority, or
It was one of the ones, yes.
okay, that's nice, but yeah, now it's not. I know.
Probably not. Yeah. Probably not up there. Yeah.
So, like, when you decided to coming in Australia, is your decision or your parents' decision?
It was a collective decision.
Okay, you guys said
Yeah.
together and
Because it was one of those things where, like I said before, the situation in Hong Kong was sort of deteriorating, and you just sort of have to make your future decisions. And I always say these things where if you make the decision early enough and you look back and you feel like, oh, that's great that I did it now. Because if I were to do it now and I was still in Hong Kong, there's just that gap that's just very hard to fill. So
that's true, fair enough. So, like, when you were doing your accounting, did you done in university or college?
I studied at Curtin University.
Curtin University, okay.
Yeah.
That how was the Curtin University experience?
Curtin, yeah, it wasn't bad. I nothing special, to be very honest. I just went to classes and yeah, tried to get my degree, and yeah, just go from there. It was sometimes it can be stressful, but like with anything, I believe if you just keep your head space right and just keep you get somewhere. So that's my thought.
That's nice. So, did you feel while studying in Curtin like, okay, this is very different from China studies and
Hong Kong. Yeah, I did feel one of the primary ones was when I did notice there was a lot of online stuff, like a lot of stuff on laptops. I was used to doing everything with paper, pen and paper. I think that was one of them. Obviously, you did the exams on paper, but doing the assignments on your laptop, which I didn't mind, But yeah, I think that was something that I wasn't used to at the time, coming from the Hong Kong schooling system. But yeah, there was apart from that, there was not many differences. Oh, there was another one I would say people here are more outgoing. It was easier to pick up a conversation. Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. So, like, did you felt any culture difference which has make you let down to get any opportunity or like that in your studies time?
I do believe, like I said, it's with being more outgoing, more interactive. So people, if you want to like build up a network of, like everyone says, you're the average of the 5 people you spend time with. So if you were to pick and choose and you were engaged in the right circles at uni or wherever,
Yeah.
I do feel you sort of do give yourself a head start in the opportunities that you can get. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, but there's no harm in trying. So.
That's nice. So, how did you applied for accounting in Curtin University? Did you went through any agent or did you do it by yourself?
I did go through because at the time, obviously, you can do it by yourself, but when you're new, you wanna be able to not be making mistakes rather than making them. So, first time thing, I did go through an agent in Hong Kong. Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's nice. What was the name of the agent?
Not too sure actually of the can't remember the name of the agent, but it was just there's plenty of them around.
That's
Yeah,
fine. But I'm just saying China. Thanks for correcting me every
yeah,
time
that's
Hong
right. Yeah,
Kong.
yeah,
Because I'm not used to say like just a Hong Kong. I
yeah,
always
that's
looked
right.
Hong Kong as a China. But yeah, you clarified
That's all
everything
good. Yeah,
that both are different things.
yeah. Well, probably not for long. You know what I mean? But for now, it still is. Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. So, did you find any difference in the exams of China and Australia?
Um, I would say maybe you get those slight differences obviously that when you move to another country, but like I said before, primarily it's doing the assignments on laptops. That wasn't really a bad thing. I mean, we did do some in Hong Kong with laptops, but not many of them. But the assignments here were done with laptops. Obviously, the exam was written. Yeah, that was one of them. I didn't, as in regards to the curriculum or the questions. Yeah, like I said before, it was just one thing that I did realize it was heavily online. You could essentially, if you didn't want to buy books, you could get away with it. In my opinion, yeah, that's one of the things I
Do you
figured.
have something more to share about exam? Like, how was the exam in your time? Like, at which year you have completed your degree and
Yeah,
all?
would be between the 2018 to 2020,
Okay.
and the exams were all right. I mean, depending on how much effort you put into it, sometimes I would. And I don't recommend this to anyone, but you sometimes you can work harder during the start of the year, so in the exams you don't need to push that hard. You know what I mean? But I don't recommend that. Obviously, try your best in everything you do. But it's just one of those things where sometimes you don't really have the same motivation sometimes, but you know it's just how it is, I guess.
I can notice that your degree was in COVID time or not?
No. So I think the last couple of semesters or the last semester was during COVID. Before that wasn't. Yeah.
Okay, so last semester was in
I
COVID.
believe so. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So did you did whole thing online? How it worked at that time?
During that time, no, actually, we did go to all the classes. Yeah, we had to wear a mask or something like that. But yeah, it wasn't really like we were not going to uni anymore or stuff like that. We were still going to classes.
So do you remember like how much you have spent in your degree?
I think with the international student fees, because you're not a Commonwealth supported student, I think it would be for 3 years, roughly about 90 odd grand.
Okay, so you did bachelor degree here.
Bachelor's of Commerce, yes.
Okay, I was assuming you have done masters because most of the student comes for masters
Yeah,
and very less people comes for bachelor degree.
yeah. But I finished schooling. Came straight from high school, so obviously I can't do a master's before I do a bachelor's. So I had to do it in bachelor's. Yeah.
That's nice. So while studying, did you done any part-time jobs or anything?
Yeah. Well, obviously you need to study, but you need to eat as well, and you need to pay your bills. So you do need something to support
Yeah.
you. You know what I mean? But Yeah, just the regular stuff. I did used to work at a McDonald's. That's one of the student jobs that you can get. Probably, I do recommend that's a good first job for any student that comes around here.
Okay.
You do learn the culture and what's expected of you in the workplace and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think it's a good experience. Yeah.
So how did you got your job? It's like walk in, or I also know that through Facebook page students get
Yeah,
the job.
I think nowadays with everything being heavily online, and especially now that I'm in the mining industry, one thing that I will recommend to people is if you just focus heavily being online, you're probably not going to get the response that you think you're going to get. Back at the old days, you would walk into a store and then people would see you and see if you're a good fit. Nowadays, everything's just heavily so much online. People are just getting these huge amounts of resumes getting sent through, and even a simple job like flipping burgers, people think it's you might not get the job. So two things I do recommend is make yourself known, either call it in. So what I was doing, I was actually randomly calling stores when I first got the job, and I just told them, do you guys need? Because if you're over a certain age, like over 18, they probably don't want to hire you during the day shift. This is a case for McDonald's, and I would just say, I'll do night shift. Are you hiring? And then sometimes they would say yes. Sometimes they were not hiring. And I think that really helped. And the other thing is, like, another common thing that you hear nowadays, which is very, very true, is it's not what you know, it's who you know. You can have, I don't know, the best resume ever written, but like I said, if there's 200 of those sitting around in the recruiter or the hiring manager's desk, you're probably not going to get looked at because it's a job for flipping burgers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, make yourself known. I think that's very important.
So you didn't try marketplace at that time, right?
No, there was quite actually a thing to look on Gumtree or something, but
Gumtree.
I
Yeah, I
never
know.
I never really fell into that space. Yeah.
That's great for you.
Yeah.
So like at which year you thought, okay, accounting is not the field you have to do, mining should be the best field.
Mining was, well, to be very honest, it wasn't. I'm not really the type of guy who, some people say, I've got a real passion for a certain industry. To me, at the time, it was purely a financial decision because I was working in the accounting field, and as anyone would know, if you come out of uni, you're getting mid 50s, mid 60s. You're just your package, and then, if you, where I was working at the time, they did say if you do your CPA, we'll pay for it. And you're looking at about a 70, 80, as anyone would know, working in Australia, award rates and whatnot. But to me, work in the mining industry provided an opportunity to really kickstart, your financial journey in the sense where you can earn not multiple six figures, but like six figures as soon as you come in to the role. And it appealed to me very much.
That's nice. So like in which year you thought, okay, accounting, I should stop and mining, let's start doing
Um,
mining.
Probably just before I had gotten my PR, and that was because I did a security course, and one of the trainers used to work in the mining industry. He was a rigger, worked for Monadelphous up north in Port Hedland,
Okay.
Pilbara, the region, and yeah, it really, really sort of got me interested because being in Perth, there's a lot of people in the mining sector, but you hear about them, but you don't know them. But the stories he told me, I felt like that was sort of my what I would like to do.
Did you ever worked in accounting before mining?
Yes, I did actually. Yeah, I worked at a car dealership. Started in accounts payable, receivable, and then worked my way up to an accountant role. And then soon after, when the mining gigs started to open up, this is post COVID, and if anyone remember that time, what happened was WA had a very hard border policy. The governor at the time, Mark McGowan. So what happened was, because of COVID, the prices of precious metals, minerals, they rose sharply. And so a lot more production was needed, and a lot more labor was needed in the mining industry. But because of the hard border policy, they were not getting the labor from the eastern states, because a lot of people actually migrate from the eastern states to Western Australia to work in the mines. And at that time, it just wasn't happening because of the hard border policy. So it turned out they were trying to sort of appealed to people who were living in Perth, WA, to come work up in the mines. And then when I came up, you would see school teachers or aged care workers, come to the mines and work. So
That's nice. So, like, how did you got your first job in accounting?
it was purely by luck. I actually applied through Seek. I applied, I think, over 25 jobs, and it was purely by luck. And I think one of the reasons why I did get it at the time was sometimes it's good to have high expectations. Sometimes I feel low expectations can work wonders. Where this was, I think it was accounts clerk sort of role, but I'd applied to it anyways. And then obviously after getting my degree, you just internally sort of move up. And I think that's one of the things people don't realize. You can't. There's a lot of, once you get your foot in the door, there's a lot of opportunities that open up. So just get your foot in the door rather than having this big expectation of this is what I'm gonna do and I'm not gonna settle for any role less than that. So.
Okay, that's nice. So after that, you find out that accounting salary is less than mining, and then you shifted. Yeah.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would say it was purely financial at the time. Obviously, if you work up to your exams and you open your own practice, I do feel that there is more opportunity in that space. But it was just a quick financial sort of gain. If I would like to say that sort of appealed at the time.
So did you feel any time like FIFO life is little bit hard to live, or is it easy for you?
I believe I've got a two-part answer to this question. At the time when I first started, I was single, so it was easy for me. I'd had no responsibilities, and I could work as long as I wanted to, as I wanted. But obviously, I do feel like if you have a partner or a family, it does get much harder to be away from them. And the other thing is, the longer you do the longer rosters, the more, after a while, you sort of feel like it's never enough. You can do now, so it works off swings. You can do a 2-in-1 or a 3-in-1 or a 4-in-1 swing, 4 weeks on and 1 week off. And when you start out, it seems amazing, but then after a while, you sort of get tired of it because there's always work. There will never be not. There will never not be work. You know what I mean? They'll always ask you if you want to do overtime, and sometimes you just get to the point where you do go like, "Oh, what am I doing?" So I did actually get to that point, and you feel like, okay, I'll do what I have to do, but I'll probably use the time in between to have some fun, relax.
So do you have partner?
At my current time, no. So,
Past, present?
well, you obviously do have to explore. So I feel like, yeah,
Okay. You're such a handsome guy. You should try somewhere then.
yeah. Thanks for that. Yeah, I'll try. Yeah,
That's your personal thing, though.
yeah.
So I noticed like most of the people think like FIFO life is very hard when it comes like you have to work 12 hours each day, and
Yeah.
like so that's why I like you prefer working 9 to 5 or
No, to be
12 hours?
very honest with you, I do prefer the pros and cons to both things. Again, like I said, 9 to 5, you get up, you do your thing, you come back, and then you're home every night. That's one of the primary pros. FIFO life, obviously you're away, you work 12 hours, and then But to me, once you get that over that initial hump, there's a lot of benefits as well. You get fed. Not that you don't have to clean your own home, but during your time on site, your room gets cleaned, the meals get cooked. There's a bus that takes you from camp to site. There's a lot of pros where the only thing that you have to do is put your clothes on and go to work. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, that's
it's not
nice.
a bad gig if you think of it that way. So I believe you just have to take the pros, look at the positives more than the negatives. There are some people who can't handle it, who would go to site and they last probably a swing, or it's just one of those things where. But at the time and still now, I feel like I would enjoy that more.
So I think like you have a very good salary as well.
Yeah, well, you work hard for it, though. Trust me. Yeah.
So, like for FIFO, for everyone will be having a good salary, like as compared to other field, or
Yes, I definitely believe, certainly in the sense of where you can be, I don't know, if you're at home living with your parents, and then the next day, you're earning over $100,000 on a 2-in-1 or a week-on-week off roster, even these days. It certainly is something that you can't do in any regular job in Perth without having to move up. But
okay,
that's just that initial hit. You sign that contract and you're over 100 grand. So that is one of the
fair
upsides.
enough. So, how much is your salary?
My salary,
Yeah.
I probably won't get into the numbers, but yeah, it's over six figures easily these days. I mean, you can look at the award contracts.
So, is it more than 100K or 200K?
I would say, uh, I'll give an estimate. It's above 100 and less than 200 because I'm not in a management position. Management positions is when you really get to sort of the 180s, the 200s, or the project manager is probably getting over 300 grand a year. So yeah, that's. But if you're a normal FIFO worker these days, you can expect anywhere between 100 to 200 minimum.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, did you have saved amount? Like, did you got any chance at that time to save any amount?
Yeah, well, if you're working and you're living below your means and sort of spending only what you have to spend, then obviously you do build up a sort of healthy cash balance, I believe. Yeah.
So, how was your journey from student visa to PR? I believe you got PR very early, and that's a very good point.
Because after COVID, there was really, like a people shortage. There was I think at the time there was a net decrease in the Australian population. The government really were finding it hard to fill up positions, and maybe that played a part. I'm not too sure, but you sort of put your application in through the degree that I did, and yeah, I got the opportunity that I got.
So, did you show like for PR accounting as a job or mining?
No, I was accounting. Yeah,
At that time, you were
yeah,
accounting.
yeah.
Okay. Did you feel you were lucky that you came in a COVID time and got this best opportunity to get PR easily?
Probably looking back on it now, probably, but at the time, you're not really sure what's happening. So it could have been the other way. You know what I mean? So I looking back on it now, I'll probably say yes. Yep.
So you believe that you were lucky that you took
Luckier,
good
yeah.
decision at
Luckier
right
than
time.
most people. But I always say make your own luck because in the sense you have to apply for it. So just do what you have to do, and probably you get somewhere.
Okay, that's nice. So like when did you got your PR? Like
That would have been 2022.
2022 and now it's 2025.
Yeah.
So like you came in 2018, right? In
Yes.
Australia
Yep.
and in 2022. So it's like 18, 19, 20. Just in 5 years you got the
Yeah,
PR.
I believe so. Yeah.
That's nice because nowadays I believe that people are finding sponsorship to get the PR. They are not getting easily when they are in Australia by 6 years. But I really appreciate your hard work. I believe that it's not just your luck, it's your
Yeah.
smart decision of yours and your parents as well.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah. Well.
That's nice. So I would like to know, like now I came to know, like initial talk you mentioned that you're building a house in Australia. So like how you started thinking about, okay, now I can start building my house rather than buying a house.
Look, there's, like I said again, pros and cons to both sides, and I probably could have done it sooner, but it was just one of those things where I had some other things on my mind, some other ventures that I wanted to do, but then I sort of settled on this one for now. You can, the primary reason was you get those grants from the government for being a first home buyer. And because of how hot the property market in WA has been for the last couple of years, it ended up being a little sort of similar, building and buying. Obviously, with building, the blocks are smaller these days when they're subdividing them. But depends on the individual, I guess. But yeah, that's just something that was available to me, and I took up that chance.
So do you find like building is expensive or buying is expensive?
Like I said, how the market was, you're still gonna get a little bit better value for your money if you're buying an established one. I would say, because you get a bit more land, and everything's done. Building, you need to there's a lot of little costs that sort of add up, because when they build your house, more often than not they will not do the paving, and won't paint your walls inside. That'll have to be done by you. There's a lot of other builders who've got these packages and everything, but it's just a big hassle trying to do everything by yourself. Little things that add up, but it's just one of those things where you learn along the way as well.
Yeah, that's true. So like how you like through real estate you started your building, or like you find any builder or constructor?
Well, you go to the display homes, you have a look, or
Where?
you
Say again.
display homes.
Display homes.
They do
Okay.
have some, open homes where they sort of show you what they do, and then you just sort of talk to your friends, people who've been through the process before, and you just learn through there.
You can say the process like in deep how all the things can be done.
For the building,
Yeah.
so obviously the first thing is you get a pre-approval from the bank.
Okay, for
Pre-approval,
loan.
yeah, pre-approval meaning, because whenever you talk to a builder, they're gonna ask you, have you got pre-approval? Pre-approval is essentially just where you walk into not walk into a bank, sort of go through a mortgage broker. That's what I would recommend, but you can walk into a bank. Obviously, what they do is they assess your financial situation. How much money do you have? How much money do you earn? What are your assets, liabilities? And they give you they assess you, assess your financial situation, and decide how much can you borrow. And then you look at the market and you look at what you can afford, and then you go to the builder or buying an established house. Then you go, look, this is what I want to be getting. That's what you do, is you get your pre-approval. Then you talk to the builder if you want to build, and you tell them this is your budget, and then their rep will have a chat with you and tell you what you can expect for the price you're paying, and then you go from there.
Okay. So like then you are paying in installment, right? Then
Yes,
whatever
that's
the
correct. Yeah. So once you with a building loan, when you're building, there's two types of loans, which is the loan for the land portion and the construction loan.
okay.
So when you're building, the bank will obviously pay the developer, the land developer first for the land, and then afterwards there's what they call progress payments. You'll have different stages. Got slab. Your slab goes down. Your bricks go down. So you have obviously you got to pay, the bank will pay the builder, and your interest payments sort of go up.
Okay. So is it compulsory that we have to take both the loans, or is up to us like?
No, you have to, unless, well, no, I would say you have to, because you have to obviously pay the land developer who's selling you the land, and you obviously have to pay the builder for building your house. If you got I don't know $1 million lying around, you can pay it in cash and not have to worry about the banks. But that's just one of those things.
Yeah, that's nice. That's great. Like you started your building your house early as per your age.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Don't mind asking, what's your age now?
26. Yeah.
26, you're still young, man.
Yeah,
And
I
you're
guess.
building. I'm still waiting to build my own house,
Yep.
but
Yep.
I'm younger than you, so I do have time.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Yeah.
How was your journey like throughout the Australia till now, and what lesson you have learned?
Lessons probably, and not let the negativity get to you. There can be tough times, and it's just one of those things where you just sort of learn not to get bogged down by any sort of negativity that life can throw at you. I think that's one of them. You just really have to be quite solid in that sense, because if you're not mentally there, then I feel like that'll be a big handicap. Secondly, probably communication skills, trying to be open and talk to people, learn from people, being a sponge, And like I said before, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Relationships make a big, big difference. Probably the other one I would say is just work hard as well.
Yeah,
Nothing's going to be handed to you, but you can try your best to get as much as you can or work hard and just learn. That's that's what I
fair
would.
enough.
But the last thing I would say, which probably I'm learning a little bit more myself now, is to enjoy yourself, because that's something that I put on
Yeah,
on the back burner for a long time. But now I would recommend people. It's not all about work. You got to work hard, but you got to play harder as well. So.
so like, do you have any advice to our future student, like real advice before coming in Australia?
Like I said before, one of the things, first and foremost, don't let the negativity get to you. There will always be new rules. There will always be, talks of, people saying certain stuff is not good. I would always recommend get the best advice possible, and get it from the source. Rather than he said, get it from the source. Look online. Look what's needed. Mining's going to be here for the next 150, 200 years. They're going to need mining engineers. I mean, that's a very hot profession. Nurses are not going to go anywhere. And they'll always need certain professions. So if you stay in that field, you're never going to go wrong. So rather than listening to the negativity, focus on doing the right things. Secondly, you have to be you have to be proactive. And lastly, like I said before, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Build that network. And when you don't know something, be willing to admit that you don't know it, rather
Yeah.
than having an opinion on everything. That sort of does set you back. So
So did you try to do networking at your initial time when you were in Australia?
probably I wasn't that good to start off with, to be very honest with you. Found it harder. But then, when you get, I think it's a sort of being acclimatized as well. When you work with people and what's sort of expected of you, what they like, what they don't like, stuff like that. You just sort of get the feel of what you need to be doing. So yeah, I think that's what really helps.
That's great. According to you, like which people would be the best for doing FIFO works?
For workers, somebody who obviously doesn't mind being away from home. That's first and foremost, because first, that's what's going to happen. When you get off that plane, that's what's going to happen. You can handle the heat. It's obviously you work in the gold fields or up north. And thirdly, there are some roles where if you're, say, like a nurse at site, or a physiotherapist, or an administrative job, that's probably going to be same to your job in Perth. The only difference is you're at a mine site and you're not at an
Hometown or
office.
something.
Yeah, but most of the jobs, most of those positions, they're very hard to get, because it's always someone from internally the company, their partner is going to have that job. I'm just being very true. I'm just speaking bluntly here. It's just more often than not that seems to be the case.
Yeah.
Or you've been employed with the company for a while and then they've posted you out on site. Most of the jobs that people are going to get starting out is those sort of laborious type jobs. You're either an operator for a piece of machinery, or you're an offsider for a drill rig. That's the jobs you're going to go for, and it's going to be hard work. If you can handle that, then if you get over that hump, then it's pretty enjoyable.
That's nice. So like you are enjoying FIFO, it means.
Probably less so now. When I did start, I thought it was the best thing. I think it
So
was
you're
it's great.
regretting now.
No, I don't regret it. I don't. You sort of, the excitement wears off. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
anything that you do for long enough, it's not going to provide you with the same enjoyment.
Okay, you're
So
getting bored nowadays.
you do get bored after a while, I
So
believe.
what do you do like if you get bored sometimes because of your work?
Um, Well, I'll probably explore other avenues, which is what I'm trying to do at the moment. But still going through with that. But yeah, sort of. I think keep your mind occupied. Try to find new avenues to explore, and new ventures. But yeah,
That's nice. So are you thinking to bring your parents in Australia? As I know, like you're the only son and India's
yeah.
thoughts are like
Yeah, I would like to. Yeah.
So when are you planning to bring them?
I believe in the near future. Yeah.
The near future. So
Yeah.
they are also interested to come
Yeah, they would be.
Australia.
Yes.
And when are you going to marry?
Not sure. Probably. Yeah. Probably soon. I guess.
You
Yeah.
might have a girlfriend and
Yeah.
you're hiding. That's fine. So if you look towards your 18 years old guy, so what you will feel like, okay, I could change this thing at that time.
One thing I would say is probably to enjoy myself a little bit more. That was not on my radar at that time at all. Um, that was something that I just did not. I don't know how to put it, but that was not really what I thought at the time. But now, you learn things along the way when you get older, and you sometimes feel like, oh, I missed that. But it's I think it's life, and you got to take the wins with the losses. But like I said, probably one of those things. Yeah, to enjoy myself a little bit more, go out a bit more, and yes, that's one of them. Probably after that, I always like to say, don't keep many regrets. Try to keep moving forwards.
Yeah, that now generations are in depression because they are taking too much regrets. So, do you have
Yeah.
anything to them to say? Because I believe like lots of students will see our podcast and it might affect their studies. So, any advice do you have?
Look, I'm always gonna say there was if you take a step forwards, you're gonna make mistakes. Like any venture you go into or anything that you try, you're gonna make mistakes. That is a given. That is I can guarantee you 110% that's gonna happen. So it's just realizing that will happen, and just dust yourself off and keep going because. And I was very guilty of that early on as well. You sort of um, get too scared and then you don't take the opportunity again. But yeah, that's one of the things I'll recommend because just realize it does happen. I mean, everybody fails, but if you got to keep going. It's very cliche, but it's true. You know.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So, like, are you strong now emotionally and mentally,
Well, yeah, I hope to be. I try to be. Yeah.
or do you still miss your China?
No, I've never had that problem in the back of my mind. I do like it here. Yeah, I love it here.
So, you are like happy without parents staying here, or do you think, okay,
I would put it in the way where I'm strong enough that I am able to sort of do stuff by myself. Yeah, I'm happy.
okay, that's nice, but maybe you sometimes miss your parents. Like, do you ever thought, oh my God, if my parents would be here, I would be doing my work. I don't need to cook or something like that because that's a
Yeah,
little bit challenging.
it can be. Yes, it can be. But I think as time goes on, it sort of becomes easier rather than harder. Yeah, that's just my opinion. Yeah.
So, do you have something like three advice do you like to give to any of the? It can be a student or any of the people. Like because most of the them doesn't come as a student only; they come as a working employee and like that stuff.
Yeah, I would say, like I said before, one thing obviously is don't let the negativity get to you. That is a very, very big point. Um, think of it as like poison. You take enough poison, it's not going to do you any good. So stay away from it, and try to look at the positives. That is, I think that would be my main one. Secondly, I've said this before as well. Just to network. It makes a big difference because it's just one of those things is where if somebody's done something that you want to do, isn't it better that you ask them rather than you going it alone and trying to figure out and making, I don't know, 1,000 mistakes and then getting the answer rather than just asking the person, whether it takes payment, whether it takes being out there and asking, it makes a difference. Yeah, so networking makes a big difference. And the final piece of advice I think is realizing that it's not easy, but you just keep going, keep going. Whatever you're going through, keep going. You'll come out the other side and you'll be happy. And then it's just one of those things where once you get over that, and then something else will come up, and you think the thing I had previously was not as hard, but then it's just going to happen. So rather than sort of not preparing for it, but rather than sort of saying, "Oh, what now?" Just know it's going to happen and just be ready for it.
Yeah,
I think that's just easier.
that's nice. I guess you have followed this whole thing.
Well, probably not at the start. I didn't, but probably now I think of it that way. Yeah.
Okay, so like from like you're originally from India, brought up and born in Hong Kong, right?
Yeah.
And then you came to Australia. So what do you think like till now, till 26 years of your life, how you look towards your life now?
It's actually a very hard question. Obviously, you make mistakes here and there. But like I said, it's any advice that I'd give to myself is just, or the way I look at my life is just, it's funny. But yeah, I'll just say, just keep going, strive towards better things, think more, think positively, work hard, enjoy yourself, and surround yourself with good people. It makes a big difference.
Believe like you're a little bit introvert, like you're very quiet, calmly saying everything.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think so. You know, you that's it could be true. I think.
No, more than me, you might be knowing like you're extrovert or
Yeah.
introvert.
Oh, I'm maybe probably somewhere in between. With the right people. You have to put yourself out there, sort of. Or sometimes if something new, you sort of take a step back and see what the play is. But then it's just yeah, somewhere in between, I guess. Yeah,
Okay.
just my opinion. Not too sure. Yeah.
That's fine. So I do like to play with rapid fire round right now.
Yeah.
If you won, then you're a brave guy. If you don't, you're not a brave guy.
Okay.
There is no prize for that though.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's very quick, okay? Whatever
That's
I
all
will
right.
ask, you have to say it quick.
Okay.
India versus China food.
India.
India versus Australia food.
India.
China food versus Australia food.
China.
FIFO or 9 to 5 job.
FIFO.
Perth summers or China winters.
Perth summers.
One thing PR didn't change in life.
Working.
Yeah, you're a bit slow. You're losing the point. So,
Okay.
most emotional moment in this journey.
Oh, there's many. I can't say. Yeah.
I guess I was playing the rapid fire.
Yeah. Probably.
And you were very so. That's fine. Still, we will count you as a brave man as
Okay.
you are in our podcast. Before finishing our podcast, I do like to give you one gift because
Okay.
it's very precious that you came to my podcast
Okay.
in very short notice, and
Yep.
I really appreciate for that.
Oh, no, appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Navdeep Singh, to be
Yeah.
a part of my podcast, and I wish you a luck for your future journey.
Yeah.
And I hope you find a partner soon and get married soon, and just call us for wedding,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
we will have food in your wedding. And
Yeah.
all the best for your future life.
Thank you.
Thank you. If you feel like his story was inspiring you and can inspire your friends, then please do share. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe as well. And please, if you want me to bring any guest from any particular field to get some information, then please do comment down. I will try my best to bring that guest. Thanks for watching.